Here's something cool. I picked up a few Master System games. And my first game is Alex Kidd in Miracle World. I love this game, an old classic. And the other game is Rastan and Zillion. I don't know if you guys remember Rastan. It used to be an old arcade game with some great music, kind of like Conan. And Zillion. Oh man, this is actually based on an anime. And the Sega light gun, actually, the old Sega Master System light gun is based on the Zillion gun. From the anime and video game. I almost forgot this one. I picked this up cheap. Fire Emblem on the DS. I have to give this a go. I really like the GameCube version. I was a big fan of that. So when they were releasing Dragon Quest IX on the DS, I had to do it. I had to pick this up. The Nintendo DS XL. Yes, I know. Did I need to get this? No. Did I have a regular DS, which was fine? Absolutely. But I'm telling you, once you play a game on this screen, on the side screen, oh, it's hard to go back, honestly. Do you need to get this? No, you don't need to get it. Do you want to get it? Yes, you do. It's very nice. I actually did a comparison of the old screen to the new screen, and it's kind of cool. Once you go big, it's hard to go back, honestly. Now, here's something funny. Retro Gamer 3 and Gamester81, they were both flaunting this strategy guide on some of their episodes, and I'm telling you, I was sitting there watching these episodes, and I'm like, man, I'm so jealous. So I went onto eBay, I paid a small amount of money, and I got this. I have to take this out of the protective wrapping here. It is the original Nintendo Power Strategy Guide to Final Fantasy 1. Now, I saw Gamester's video on this, and I was like, oh, I'm so jealous. I have to have that. So I went and got this one, and this is a really, really mint guide. I'm really happy to have this. Whoever has owned this before me, because I did get it off eBay, it really did a nice job preserving it. There's no creases or anything like that. It looks really, really nice. And I'm such a big fan of the original Final Fantasy 1 on the NES that I had to have this. It's such a nostalgic thing for me to own, and especially with some of the older artwork. Like, it's very cool to see some of the Americanized artwork, I'll call it. It's really neat to see that. So yeah, I had to pick this up. Very happy to have that. So as you guys know, I do collect strategy guides, and another one that I needed to get, and here it is, the official Xenogears strategy guide. Now, I'm a huge fan of the original Xenogears. I love the game, and I love its spiritual successors, Xenosaga. I'm a fan of those games as well, but I had to own this guide. It's a little past it. I finished the game years ago, so I don't really need the strategy guide, but I like to buy strategy guides. I like to have them up on the shelf here and just to look back on them and check out some of the artwork and remember certain sections of the game that I was in at certain points. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool to see this stuff. Wow. Yeah, I like Xenogears. Xenogears is a great game. So here's the section where I talk about some Blu-rays that I've actually just recently picked up. And the first one that I picked up is Grindhouse, the double feature. Now this has Planet Terror and Death Proof on it. But why I picked up this version, I actually have the old DVD releases of it. And the reason why I want to have this version is it has all of the trailers. Now, I went to see this in the theater, and this was, to see the double feature was way too long. I was sitting in that theater for, I don't know, 3+ hours. But the one thing that I did really enjoy was some of the trailers, and some of them are really good, like, what was it, Werewolf Women of the SS or whatever it was. Big fan of that. I thought that stuff was so much fun. Now, here's a movie that didn't do well in the box office, and I would like to think of it as a cult movie. And because a lot of cult movies are movies that don't do well in the box office, but see a greater life when they come to video. And this one's no different. It is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Now, I really am a tough movie critic, I'll be honest with you, and I went to see this in the movie theater, and I was blown away. I thought, for any video game fan out there, this movie was like kind of made for us. It's a really fun, entertaining movie. And yeah, it's so quirky and different and refreshing and new that it was really exciting to see this movie in the theater, and I'm glad I got to see it in the theater. Really happy to have it on Blu-ray. Lots of special features on here. If any of you guys are curious, check it out. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Big thumbs up. I love this movie. It's great. Oh my god. This movie right here, it sums up the 80s for me. The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he was in a slew of amazing old action films back then, and The Running Man is no different. And it's actually based on an original story by Stephen King, and he had an alias writing name back then, but definitely check out The Running Man. It's a lot of fun. It's very 80s, and that's a good thing. Here's one. I picked up an anime movie on Blu-ray, and it's one of my favorite old OVAs. and that is a Gunbuster. This is by good old Gynax, and I'm a huge fan of Gunbuster the OVAs. I absolutely love this series. And what they basically did was grab all the OVAs and squish them together into one movie, and it looks really nice in Blu-ray. I'm actually kind of blown away by that. And I actually have all the other versions of it. You know, I had the old Hong Kong DVD going on here, and then the actual Bandai release of Gunbuster on DVD here. But I gotta say, Gunbuster looks really nice, and I really like watching anime on Blu-ray. Some of this stuff looks really good. And here's a movie I haven't even taken out of the shrink wrap yet, and that is The Monster Squad. I've never seen this movie, can you believe that? It's like people who tell me they've never seen The Goonies. It's crazy, but I actually have never seen this. Here's a movie I've been looking forward to for a very long time. I never ever thought in a million years I would ever see this movie on Blu-ray, and that is G.I. Joe the animated movie. Now it's funny, I bought the Shout Factory G.I. Joe box set last year, and it had all the discs in it, and at the end it actually had a spot for G.I. Joe the movie. And I couldn't believe it when this actually came out on Blu-ray. I was like, bye Shout Factory. I was so excited about it. And it actually came with two versions. It came with the Blu-ray and the DVD version. And what was so awesome is I got to put that DVD version in my box set. So now that is complete. And I'm telling you guys, this is a blast from the 80s. This is a great chunk of 80s good times here. G.I. Joe the animated movie. What makes this movie so good is it actually explains the origins of Cobra. And it explains the origins of Cobra Commander and why he became who he is. And it's actually a really wild story, and I won't ruin it. I've watched this movie over 100 times. It looks really good in Blu-ray, by the way. So if any of you guys are curious, definitely pick up G.I. Joe the animated movie. Very good stuff. I had to pick up 3 box sets here. The Alien Anthology, the Back to the Future box set, and Avatar Special Edition. What can be said about all these wonderful movies here? Alien Anthology, looks, the first movie, Alien 1, I'm a huge fan of. Looks stunning. Honestly, the transfer is the best I've ever seen it, and I'm telling you, I got all of them. I'm looking at them over there. I got the Laserdisc, I got the VHS, I got the DVDs, then the Alien Quadrilogy or whatever it was. I have them all. I'm here to tell you, if you're curious, the Blu-ray transfer is excellent. And even on the second movie, which has really always been very grainy, they've kind of cleaned it up. It's still grainy, but it's the best it's ever looked. I'm telling you that. So definitely pick up this if you're a fan of these movies. The third and fourth movies, if you like those sorts of things, they're on there as well. The other thing here is Back to the Future. I watched the first one. It looks stunning. It's everything you expect with Back to the Future. So I already had the DVDs. I had to upgrade to these. It was worth it. And here's Avatar, the special edition. This movie's kind of controversial, actually. A lot of people hate it, and a lot of people love it. I fall into, I love it. I think it's a great film. Is it like Fern Gully and stuff like that? Absolutely, it absolutely is like that. But it has its own unique spin on it as well. And I think when the second and third movies come out, we'll really see what direction it's going to go in. I think it's going to be a lot different. But one thing I can say about this is it's got a whole new sequence on Earth, which is kind of interesting. I've only recently watched that. I'm going to actually watch the whole movie later on tonight. Guys, honestly, if you're fans of these movies, you can't go wrong. The transfers are all looking really nice. Lots of special features, hours worth of entertainment here. And just to wrap it finally up, I actually bought a soundtrack here, and this is for Border Break. And this arcade shooter I always talk about by Sega. I'm a bit of a fan of it. And I actually found this on Play Asia. Cost me, I think, about $30, and I was never able to find this anywhere else. And I like the music to Border Break. I think it's really, really good. So I definitely had to support Border Break. And this is something I really want to share with you guys, and only a handful of you out there will really appreciate how cool this shirt is. Now I'm gonna hold this up, and you're gonna have a look at it for a sec. So I'm just gonna hold that right there, so everybody's looking at it. Okay, what does it look like? It looks like a ninja attacking some kind of creature or something. You're right, it is. But what nobody realizes here, and it took a second for me to realize it online when I saw this, for any of you guys out there, this is of an old arcade game called the Ninja Warriors. And what's amazing about this shirt is, it's one of the ninjas here fighting one of the creatures from the game. And at first it just looks like a Japanese style print, but it's actually based off a video game, The Ninja Warriors. One of my favorite, it's actually in my top 10, my favorite arcade games of all time. So I was blown away to see this, and this was by Meat Bun. That's the name of the company that makes it, and I was just blown away that they actually would make a Ninja Warriors shirt. And I gotta admit, it actually cost me a little bit with shipping, but it was completely worth it. It was so exciting to actually get a Ninja Warriors t-shirt. That's just amazing. Anyways, guys, this is all the stuff that I've been buying for the last 3 months. It's been adding up. I wanted to show you guys it, and I finally got around to doing it. So anyways, guys, until next time.